Motorsport TV Live, brought to you by Motorsport Tickets, the dedicated motorsport experiences provider.
Hello and welcome to Motorsport TV Live with me, Bryn Lucas, bringing you all the latest stories from around the world of motorsport. Andrea Seidl says F1 doesn't need permanent stewards. Danilo Petrucci says that Dakar is completely another world. And new dates are released for the Kyalami 9 hours. For all those stories and more coming up here on Motorsport TV Live. Formula One first, and McLaren team principal Andrea Seidl believes the current stewarding system is enough to deliver consistent verdicts without the need for permanent stewards. Several times this year, the stewards' calls have been criticised for their inconsistency. The decision not to penalise Max Verstappen for pushing Lewis Hamilton off the track in Brazil made McLaren driver Lando Norris say his penalty for a very similar incident in Austria was unfair. Whilst earlier this year, Alpine's Fernando Alonso was also unhappy with the consistency of some of the decisions made, especially in regards to drivers leaving the track and gaining an advantage at the start of races. I don't think that not having permanent stewards is the issue, said Seidl. I understand that after each race weekend there's a lot of exchange between stewards to make sure everyone is of the same level of information and understand what's happened in detail. That's why I don't think that this is the big issue, in my opinion. Formula E has been back on track in Valencia with a full race-style test complete with starting grid to trial the new extra time regulations. Day 2 of testing of San Antonio, Felix da Costa securing the fastest lap time as Nick de Vries won the morning's race simulation. In lieu of the energy allowance reduction formerly used to emphasise energy management in a safety car hit race, races will now receive extra time to replace the lost racing laps taken by a caution or safety car period. De Vries picked up the lead on the second lap from Alexander Sims, who had initially got past the slow-starting Mitch Evans. Evans went to the back of the field, having been unable to get away from his nominal pole position off the grid. De Vries and teammate Stoffel van Dorn swapped places a number of times through the race before Eduardo Mortara eventually got past Van Dorn to finish second. Da Costa didn't finish the race despite clocking the fastest lap time. Jean-Eric Verne, Andre Lotterer and Alice Powell running in place of Robin Freins at Envision also did not finish. Elsewhere, rookie Dan Ticktum briefly stepped into the top 10 before his lap was pinged for track limits, leaving him last in the timesheets behind Powell. Antonio Giovinazzi was initially confused in his opening Formula E runs, labelling it completely different to anything he's raced in before as he participates in his first test for Dragon Penske Autosport. Giovinazzi will depart Alfa Romeo's Formula One team at the end of the season following 3 years with the outfit and joins Dragon for his first Formula E season alongside ex-Formula 2 driver Sergio Sette Camara. Following the opening day of testing and the Tuesday morning running, Giovinazzi felt that he still had a lot of things to learn about getting the best from his Formula E machinery, underlining the differences between it and driving in F1. Giovinazzi admitted that the limited mileage throughout the test will not leave him with enough preparation for the Saudi Arabia opener in January. He'll also miss the final day of Valencia testing to travel to the inaugural Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at Jeddah, but Giovinazzi hopes he can make up for lost time in the simulator. Well, don't go anywhere. We've got lots more news from the world of motorsport coming up here on Motorsport TV Live. Love those racing files. World Superbikes now, and Michael van der Mark says he expected more from his 2021 BMW despite capping off the World Superbike season with an impressive podium finish in Indonesia. With wet conditions providing a level playing field at the newly built Mandalika Street Circuit, Van der Mark was part of the lead group for the entirety of the second race, battling with champion Toprak Razgatlioglu to take the third step. This was BMW's 5th podium of the season and the first since Portimao. I think there were not as many podiums as we hoped, he said, of the 2021 season, but the Superbike Championship this year has been so close and so tight, with so many riders battling at the front. Also coming with the new M1000RR, we expected more. We can only make small steps at a time, and we just need time to develop the bike. Van der Mark will have a new teammate next year, with Scott Redding leaving Ducati after 2 seasons to replace the 2013 champion Tom Sykes. Double MotoGP race winner Danilo Petrucci says his switch from road racing to rallying ahead of his Dakar debut in 2022 has been completely another world. Petrucci brought his MotoGP tenure to an end earlier this month at the Valencia finale, having lost his Tech 3 KTM ride for next year, but will remain with KTM and Tech 3 for the famous Dakar rally, which has been a dream of his for some time. Speaking ahead of the Valencia finale, Petrucci says everything about his switch to rallying has been a huge adjustment. The biggest thing to learn in the Dakar is everything, because it's completely another world, Petrucci said. I think already in 1 week of training, I did more than the distance that I did all this year with the MotoGP bike. So I'm completely new, and fortunately I have some quite good skills for riding. Dakar organisers confirmed the details of the 2022 rally last weekend, which will be staged in Saudi Arabia and take place for 2 weeks from the 1st of January through to the 14th. And finally, this season's Joburg Kyalami 9-hour will now take place on the 3rd to the 5th of February 2022 at Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit. The event was postponed last Friday as a result of international travel restrictions imposed on southern Africa following the discovery of the Omicron coronavirus variant. After extensive consultation with teams and manufacturers, the event has been rescheduled for February the 3rd to the 5th. The race will still take place on the Saturday as is tradition and avoids clashes with other major international endurance events. There is also sufficient time for cars, equipment and personnel to travel from South Africa to Australia for the Liquid Moly Bathurst 12-hour, where IGTC's 2022 campaign begins 3 weeks later. The safety of all participants and staff will take utmost priority when considering whether the Joburg Kyalami 9-hour can go ahead on its rescheduled date. That's all for now. I'm Bryn Lucas. Join us again here on Motorsport TV Live for all the latest news from the world of motorsports. Bye for now.